Hare Krishna, all the devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam. So finally, today we resume our regular Bhakti Sastri classes. Yeah, I really apologize that all this time, somehow or other, I'm skipping a lot of classes. Yeah, but hopefully from today, we will do it on a more regular basis. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's start up with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhuttale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Shwapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Shan. Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Shahagana Raghunatam Vitantam Sajivam. Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva. Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamchan. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinakhandu Jagatpate. Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panglungam Hayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Sri Gurun Dinataranam Param Sri Chaitanya Ishwar. Hare Krishna. So, welcome back to chapter 8 Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter entitled Attaining the Supreme. Yeah. So just to flash back again to what we have discussed in the beginning of chapter 8. So there are a few questions asked by Arjuna, and the Lord replied to that question immediately in the next sloka. Yeah. And then we discussed thoroughly about remembering Krishna. Yeah. Because ultimately one can attain Krishna if he remembers Krishna at the time of death. Yeah. Anta kale chamam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. So how can we remember Krishna at the time of death? Definitely, as Srila Prabhupada nicely explained, that through practice. So from now we are practicing to remember Krishna, and that will come automatically at the time of death. Yeah. So through practice. Okay. I would like to talk maybe a little bit later toward the end about the essays, writing essays, and also about the exam. Yeah, there are few devotees failed. Yeah, did not meet the sufficient mark in which I was asking for 65% out of 100. And even there is one devotee gets only 8 points. Yeah, 8 points out of 60. That means it's very less. Yeah, not even 50%. So this point I will be speaking later toward the end. Yeah. So please don't leave before the class. So I'll be speaking about that. I will re-explain again on how to write the essay. Yeah. Basically, there are still many devotees failing, I would say, failing in writing their essays. Okay, so let's continue on chapter 8. So we will be discussing from text number 14. Yeah. From 14 to 16, we'll be discussing about pure devotional service. And then 17 to 22, comparing the material and spiritual world. And the last section of today's discussion will be from text 23 to 28, the supremacy of devotion in attaining the supreme. Yeah. So from text 14 to 16, Krishna urges Arjuna to engage in pure devotional service by remembering him without deviation. There is no impediments in such service, and one easily attains Krishna. Okay. Text number 14. Ananya chetasa tatam yomam smarati nityasaha tasyaham sulabha pata nitya tasya yoginaha. So ananya chetaha means constant remembrance. Yeah. Ananya without deviation. Satata means always. And what Krishna says here, tasyaham sulabha. Tasya aham sulabha. For those person who remembers me without failing. Yeah. For them, Krishna is very easily to be obtained. Yeah. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easily to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Srila Prabhupada explained the special qualification of the pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Krishna without deviation and without considering the time or place. There should be no impediments. He should be able to carry out his service anywhere and at any time. Some say that the devotee should remain in holy places like Vrindavan or some holy town where the Lord lived. But a pure devotee can live anywhere and create the atmosphere of Vrindavan by his devotional service. A pure devotee cannot forget the Supreme Lord for a moment, and similarly, the Supreme Lord cannot forget his pure devotee for a moment. This is the great blessings of the Krishna conscious process of chanting the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah. Sadavo Hridayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hridayam Graham. Mad Anyante na Janati Naham Tebyo Managati. So this is the statement of Lord Vishnu in the past times, yeah. In the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastime of Ambarish Maharaj, yeah, when Durvasa became offended, yeah, so he tried to kill Ambarish Maharaj, and Lord Krishna released his Sudarshan Chakra. And now Durvasa Muni is looking for shelter, yeah. So he went to different personalities, up to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and finally he went to Vaikuntha, to Lord Vishnu. Yeah. So Lord Vishnu said, Sadavo Hridayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hridayam. So for devotee, he always remember Krishna. And for Krishna, he always remember that devotee. So between devotees and Krishna, they always remember each other. Yeah. So in this way, actually, one remain connected with the Supreme Lord. Yeah, especially through the chanting of the holy names, like how Srila Prabhupada explained here. Yes. So in that way, one can remember Krishna all the time. Yeah. Tashyaham Sulabha. And for him, Krishna will be very easily to obtain. Yeah. So wherever devotee, just like Srila Prabhupada here mentioned that sometimes we may think that we have to stay in a holy place where Krishna appears or Krishna performs his beautiful pastimes. But then wherever Krishna is being worshipped, actually, that very place will become a holy place. Yeah. Even if we reflect to the life of Srila Haridas Thakur, of course, he was at that time in Jagannath Puri. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begged him to come to the temple, to Lord Jagannath's temple. But Haridas Thakur said that, no, I can just sit here and chant the holy name. Well, out of his genuine humility, he is thinking that, oh, I'm born in a Muslim family, so I'm unfit to enter the temple. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu concluded that, yes, actually Haridas is always below Jagannath. He always remained connected through the chanting of the holy names. Yeah. So that is the secret. So wherever we are, as long as we constantly chant the holy names, in that way we get the opportunity also to remember Krishna. Yeah. Tashyaham Sulabha. Text 15. Mam upetya punar janma dukhalayam sasvatam. Natnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. After attaining the great souls who are yogis in devotion, never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries. Yeah, dukhalayam. Because they have attained the highest perfection. Now, actually, there are two key words in this verse. Yeah, one is the dukhalayam and the other is asaswatam. Asaswatam means temporary. So dukhalayam, asaswatam. It's full of miseries and everything is temporary. Yeah, whatever your possession, your wealth, the body, family, everything is temporary, including dukhalayam also temporary. There's nobody constantly suffer in the material world, right? Even the beggar, sometimes they feel happiness. That means even the dukkha is also temporary in the material world. Yeah. So this world is the world of temporary. Everything is temporary. Yeah. Happiness, distress, agama payino nityas. Come back to that verse again. Second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Just like heat and cold. Yeah. Everything keep changing. The body also changes. Yeah. So also dukkha is also temporary. Yes. So one devotee was asking me like, oh, how long should I suffer? I said just 1 second. When Lord Vishnu inhale, so the suffering is over. Yeah, but that 1 second is Lord Vishnu's calculation, right? It may take us a millions lifetime, we don't know, right? So just perfect this lifetime and cut off all the miseries. Srila Prabhupada explained, since this temporary material world is full of the miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death, naturally, he who achieves the highest perfection and attain the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan, does not wish to return. The Mahatmas receive transcendental messages from the realized devotees and thus gradually develop devotional service in Krishna consciousness and become so absorbed in transcendental service that they no longer desire elevation to any of the material planets, nor do they even want to be transferred to any spiritual planet. They only want Krishna and Krishna's association and nothing else, nothing else. That is the highest perfection of life. Yeah. So seeing this purport by Srila Prabhupada, we can understand that actually whoever comes to the material world is just like prisoners. Yeah, sometimes prisoners, I mean, like, of course, they are criminals, but after getting some punishment in prison house, so they will behave, they get rectification, so they will behave properly in order to not to enter the jail again, right? So similarly, those who have obtained the supreme abode, so they never wish to return again to the material world. Yeah. So prison house, this material world is compared just like a prison house. Yeah, where actually we are being rectified here through the agency of Maya, the energies of the Lord. Yes. So especially in this planet, yeah, on the Earth planet, this is the more suitable place where we can actually develop our Krishna consciousness. In heaven, too much happiness. Sometimes they don't think about God. People with so much opulence, sometimes they don't think about God. And also in hell, too much miseries, they also cannot think about God. Yeah. But those who are in between, yeah, they have this good chance actually to think about God, to search about God. Yeah. Too much happiness is not good. Too much misery is also not good. But those who are in between, they have this opportunity to develop God consciousness. Yeah. Mm. And of course, Srila Prabhupada also mentioned here that for pure devotees, they don't even want elevation. What to speak of elevation to higher planetary system, such as heavenly planet. They don't even want spiritual world. They want only Krishna's service. Yes. So that's for pure devotee. Text 16. Abrahma Bwana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Mamupetya to Kaunteya Punarjanma Navidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of demigods, are again subjected to the repeated birth and death. But if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. Those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to the higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Yeah. So I would recommend that you can read the pastime of Gopakumar. Yeah. The story is from the Brihad Bhagavatam Brita. Yeah. So how Gopakumar was searching, was wandering from one place to another place. And he kept elevating himself from one planet to another planet, and finally he reaches Goloka Vrindavan. If you've seen any picture of Krishna hugging one boy, that's actually Gopakumar. Yeah. So that's the narration of Gopakumar. So Srila Prabhupada explained here, if one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness after attaining higher planetary system, now what does it mean? That means that actually, like in such planet like Jana Loka, Tapoloka, even up to Brahma Loka, yeah, the planet of the rishis, yeah. So there is a chance to cultivate Krishna consciousness. But if one forgets to cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he will come down again. So there is a chance also from Brahmaloka going up to Goloka Vrindavan. But there is another chance, a big chance, to fall down again. Did I tell you about there was one king that by chance he entered heavenly planet? Maybe I told already, but I would like to tell again this story. So there was a king, you know. This king, being a king, of course, he can get whatever he wants in his life, full of opulence. And somehow or other in his life, he has done only very small pious activities. Yeah. So when Yamaraj, Yamadutas came, so he dragged him out from his body. And then in some Sastra, it is described that if a person is too sinful, so they will be brought to heaven first to enjoy a little bit their piety, and then they will be sent to hell and then being punished, and then from hell they will take birth. Therefore, those who are miserable, that means they are born from hell. Yeah. If a person is pious and has done some sinful activities, a little bit, so he will be brought to hell first for a small punishment, and then will be elevated to a heavenly planet and then enjoy there. After the piety is finished, he will be born from heaven, and then he will get good birth. So now this king, he has done very little pious activities. So he was asked, actually. He was asked, so what do you want first? What do you want first, hell or heaven? He said that, okay, just take me to heaven. He went to heaven, and then when his time about to finish, so they inform him, you have only a few seconds to live in heaven, and then you will be brought to hell for punishment. So what do you want? And he said that, oh, I have heard about the beautiful Nandana garden of Lord Indra. Can you just bring me there? I just want to see what is there. Because he has heard like there are so many apsaras, beautiful gardens like this. And then, okay, the demigods brought him there. And then he has only a few seconds. So he was thinking like, what will I do with this few seconds? So he just plucked one flower. He just plucked one flower and look at this flower. Wow, this flower is so beautiful. Anyway, now my time is up. So he just threw this flower to the air, and then he chanted, Govindaya Namo Namaha. So instead of being brought to hell, he was being promoted to higher planetary system. And then he was wondering, wow, this mantra works so much. And then he kept chanting this mantra, Govindaya Namo Namaha, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Yeah, I offer my obeisances to Lord Govinda. And finally, what happened? He penetrates the 8 layers of material universe coverings, and he went back to Goloka Vrindavan. So from this story, we can see actually there is always a chance to advance in Krishna consciousness, even after one is being promoted to heavenly planet. But as I mentioned earlier, that actually sometimes when there is too much happiness, one will tend to forget about searching about God. Yeah. That's why Srila Prabhupada explained like this here. Yeah. Prabhupada mentioned here, but if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. Okay. Here is a lecture by Srila Prabhupada. Ananya Cheta Satatam. Satatam means always, 24 hours, 100%, without any deviation. This is Krishna consciousness. If anyone is engaged in such Krishna consciousness, 24 hours and 100%, then Yomam Smarati Nityasaha, always remembering. Suppose if you are engaged in some work, naturally you will be thinking of that particular work. When you go to your office and work, oh, you have to think always of the office business. That is quite natural. Similarly, if you engage yourself in the business of Krishna consciousness, naturally you will be happy. You will be always thinking of Krishna. Therefore, it is said, Yomam Smarati Nityasaha, always remembering me. Tashyaham Sulabha Partha, my dear Partha, Arjuna. For him, I am very cheap. Yeah, Sulabha means very easily available. Yeah. Ananya Chetasa Tatam. Ananya means without deviation. Sulabha, easily. Of course, when we will study the lecture of devotion, there are 6 symptoms of pure devotional service. And one is Sudurlabha, means very difficult to obtain. Yeah. But why Krishna mentioned here Sulabha? Means very easily to obtain Krishna. Easily is for those who always remember Krishna. If you are able to remember Krishna all the time, then Krishna will be easily available for you. But who can remember Krishna all the time? Only pure devotees. Yeah. Therefore, Krishna mentioned, Srila Rupa Goswami explained, Sudurlabha, not easy. Yeah, very rare. Because not everybody is a pure devotee. Not everybody can remember Krishna. 24 hours. Prabhupada mentioned in that lecture, 24 hours, 10% means 100%. Yeah. If we can just remember Krishna 20 let's say 20% out of 24 hours, then that's also a great achievement, right? 50% means 12 hours. Yeah, 25% means 6 hours. 20% means maybe around 5 hours, right? Yeah, we are chanting our japa 2 hours. So the rest 3 hours, what we will do? Okay, do some service here and there, right? But if you can remember Krishna 24 hours, why not? Yes. So Krishna has explained about pure devotional service on that section. So now Krishna will compare the material and spiritual world. Yeah, the material world is miserable and temporary, as illustrated by the constant cycle of universal creation and destruction. By hearing this description, one gains detachment from this world. In verses 20 to 22, the eternal nature of the spiritual world is described, as well as the means to attain it, devotional service to Krishna. Yeah. So what is the purpose of Krishna comparing the material and spiritual world here? So Krishna is giving comparison. Like, for example, if you go to market, yeah, let's say you want to buy fruits. There are different types of fruits available in one vendor, let's see. And then in one vendor, they will have different types of apples with different types of prices, right? So it's up to you which one you will choose, right? So there's apple, let's say 100 rupees per kg. Another one with a better quality, 150. Another one is 200 rupees, things like this, you know. So it's up to you which one you want to eat, right? Which one you want to buy. So similarly, Krishna is explaining now, comparing between the material world and the spiritual world. So now it's up to us where we want to stay. Because after all, we are being the marginal potency of the Lord. Yeah, we have the right to choose where we want to be, whether we want to be with Krishna in the spiritual world or we want to be separated from Krishna. Yeah, because after all, Krishna will always respect our minute independence. Yeah, so that's why he's comparing here. He give us the knowledge, he give us the information. Then it's up to us. Text number 17. Okay, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahar Yad Brahmano Vidu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Janaha. Yeah. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. So Sahasra Yuga means 1,000 Yuga. So that's just one day of Lord Brahma. Yeah. So in one Brahma's day, there are 14 Manus. Yeah. There are 14 Manus in one day of Lord Brahma. And then now in one Manus, there are 71 Divya Yuga. Yeah, one Divya Yuga means one cycle of the 4 yugas. Okay, so one cycle of the 4 yugas. This is called Divya Yuga. So one cycle of Divya Yuga, 71 times, and that is one Manvantara. And there are 14 Manus in one day of Lord Brahma. So it is described that now we are in the 50th birthday of Lord Brahma. So now he's 50 years old, and today is his first day in his birthday. And we are in the 7th Manvantara, in the 7th Manu. And we are situated in the 28th Kali Yugas out of the 71. I hope you are not confused. If you want to find this description, it is mentioned in the beginning of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah, Adi Lila. You can find it there. Yeah. We are in the 28th Kali Yuga of this, out of the 71. And we are in the 7th Manvantara out of the 14. Yeah. Lord Brahma now 50 years old. Yeah. So halfway to go for the total devastation. Yeah, that's why we see he already have gray hair now. Yes. A kalpa is a day of Brahma, and one day of Brahma consists of 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas. Yeah. The cycle of Satya is characterized by virtue, wisdom, and religion, there being practically no ignorance and vice. The yuga lasts 1,728,000 years. In the Treta Yuga, vice is introduced, and this yuga lasts for 1,296,000 years. In the Dwapara Yuga, there is an even greater decline in virtue and religion, vice increasing, and this yuga lasts for 864,000 years. And finally, Prabhupada said, and finally in Kali Yuga, the yuga we have now been experiencing over past 5,000 years, there is an abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, and vice, true virtue being practically non-existent. And this yuga lasts for 432,000 years. Yeah, this is from Srila Prabhupada's purport. So now, a kalpa is a day of Brahma. Yeah, consists of 1,000 cycles of the 4 yugas. How many years is one kalpa? Here is the calculation. Yeah, 4,320,000,000 years. This is just 12 hours. So this, yeah, these 4 yugas rotating 1,000 times comprise one day of Brahma, and the same number comprise one night. Okay, so times 2. So this is 24 hours of Lord Brahma. Yeah. Brahma lives 100 of such years and then dies. So how much is this? This is 1 year, 360 days, 1 year. And then in this is okay. This is 24 hours. This is 1 year and 100 years, because Brahma lives for 100 years. So this is the figure. Who can tell me how to say this? It's too much for my brain. Yeah. This 100 years by Earth calculation total to 311 trillion and 40 billion Earth years. By this calculation, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable. But from the viewpoint of eternity, it is as brief as lightning flash. In the casual ocean, there are innumerable Brahmas rising and disappearing like bubbles in Atlantic. Okay, so 311 trillion and 40 billion. So I don't know how many lifetimes we will have that. Now we live up to 80, maybe maximum 90. Well, I still find some people live till 100 years, even a little more, but it's very rare. Yeah. Nowadays we are 30 years old already having so much knee pain, back pain. Yeah. So now the reason why Krishna is informing us this is like this, you know. Okay, Brahma has like very long lifespan. Yeah. You know, just like how a mosquito see our life. For them, our life is like eternity, right? Because they have very short period of life. Yeah. So we can compare like that, you know. The life of Brahma is just like how the mosquito sees us, or how the bacteria who lives just for a few seconds and die compared to our life. So maybe in their Bhagavad Gita, they are thinking like, oh, this human life is so fantastic, so long. But then we are seeing the life of Brahma is like, wow, that's like so fantastic. But then what Srila Prabhupada explained, yes, it's 311 trillion, 40 billion is just a second, just like lightning flash compared to the eternity. Means compared to the time of Lord Mahavishnu. Just like in the ocean, there are innumerable bubbles, yeah, appearing and disappearing. So that's how Brahma is being created. Yeah. So now what we can conclude here, doesn't matter how fantastic Lord Brahma's life has. Yeah. Still he has to die. Yes, still he has to die. There was one description in the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that how actually the demigods, the way how they die, is not like us, full of suffering and miseries. So all these demigods actually they have garlands with them. So when their times is about to finish, this garland will become pale, and one by one petals just dropping. So at that time they feel sad. They get the gist that yes, soon your time is over. So after all this garland finish, then they have to come back to earth. Yes. But of course they can endure for millions years compared to our earthly calculation, right? But still they have to die. Every single person in the material world, they have to die. Yeah. Meaning changing the body. Okay. So this just the life of Brahma. Yeah. Text 18. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. Okay. Now, this duration of Brahma, this is from lecture, Prabhupada's lecture. The material manifestation in the lower status, this planetary system, when Brahma's day is finished, all this planetary system becomes covered in water. There is devastation. Yeah. And when again Brahma, the supreme person in the Brahma Loka, he rises up, then again creation begins. That is the law of creation. So actually there are two types of annihilation. Yeah. One annihilation is the complete annihilation when Brahma reaches 100 years old. Yeah. And then the partial annihilation when Brahma sleep at night. Yes. So every kalpa, there is creation. So starting from Janaloka down, actually, from Janaloka, the planets of the sages, down, that will be fully covered with water. Yeah. At that time, Lord Brahma is taking rest. Yeah. And then when he wakes up, he will again recreate the lower planetary system. Yeah. Okay, so here, during the night of Brahma, the lower planetary system are submerged in waters of Garbhodaka ocean. Complete devastation. All the planetary systems are destroyed, including Brahmaloka. Living entities enter in the body of Mahavishnu and remain in mystic slumber for a very, very long time. Okay, text 19. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrivals of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Yeah. During the daytime of Brahma, they can exhibit their activities on higher and lower planets within this material world. But at the coming of Brahma's night, they are all annihilated. In the day, they receive various bodies for material activities. And at night, they no longer have bodies but remain compact in the body of Vishnu. Then again, okay, this Vishnu is the Mahavishnu. Okay. Then again, they are manifested at the arrival of Brahma's day. Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. During the day, they become manifest, and at night, they are annihilated again. Ultimately, when Brahma's life is finished, they are all annihilated and remain unmanifest for millions and millions of years. And when Brahma is born again in another millennium, they are again manifest. But those intelligent persons who take to Krishna consciousness use their human life fully in devotional service of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thus, they transfer themselves, even in this life, to the spiritual planet of Krishna and become eternally blissful there, not being subjected to such a rebirth. Okay. So everyone is clear about this point, yeah, about partial annihilation and complete annihilation. Yeah, so when there is this annihilation, so the jivas will sleep in the body of Mahavishnu. Yeah, so there is also description in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when the creation takes place, actually Lord Mahavishnu, yeah, he expanded himself into Sadasiva. And then from Sadasiva's glance, the Jiva enters into the material universe. Yeah. Therefore, Durga is our mother, and Sadasiva is considered to be our father. Yeah. So the Jiva enters through that glance. And creation is such a very interesting things that we can discuss. Just for your information, actually, this planetary system, this universe is actually within the stem of the lotus flower where actually Lord Brahma appeared. That's the description. Can you imagine like how big is universe? And then within that universe, Garbhodakasai Vishnu is inside, laying down on his own sweat, and this lotus stem appear. Lord Brahma appeared there on the lotus flower, and he was searching, right? But he could not find anyone, and then he performed the tapasya. And when he get the darshan of the Lord, so the Lord instructed him how to create. And then the planetary system is actually within that stem of the lotus flower. So I was thinking, I'm thinking even till now, I'm thinking like the universe is so big, and there are a lot of empty space, and this 14 planetary system just within the stem of this lotus flower. We will see when TOVP is open. We will see how they will depict all this Vedic planetary system. Yeah. Cosmology. Very interesting. I'm eagerly awaiting for this. Now they postponed in 2026. Last year they announced 2024, and then 2025. And then 2 weeks ago, I was informed that 2026. We will see. Hopefully that will come true. Yeah. Some actually we get some kind of joke, oh look, Modi already opened the Ram temple. ISKCON still not opening the TOVP. Yeah. Anyhow, it's a big project, require a lot of money. Yeah. So creation is interesting topic to discuss. Yeah. And you need to really study hard in order to fully understand about creation. All right, text 20. Yeah, there is another unmanifest nature. Now, After explaining about the material nature, so Krishna is touching here from this point about the spiritual world. Yeah. Yet there is another unmanifest nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Krishna's superior spiritual energy is transcendental and eternal. It is beyond all the changes of material nature, which is manifest and annihilated during the days and nights of Brahma. Krishna's superior energy is completely opposite in quality to material nature. Superior and inferior nature are explained in the 7th chapter. Yeah, para and apara prakriti. We have discussed that point in the previous chapter. Yeah. So now here Krishna mentioned that there is another world, yeah, which is unmanifest. What does it mean, unmanifest? Unmanifest from our eyes. For example, now I'm in this room. So I'm closing the door, so I cannot see what is going on outside the door. So for me, for my eyes, so that part is unmanifest from my eyes. Yeah, so that's the understanding. Sometimes people make so much deal about this. Oh, what does it mean unmanifest? The spiritual world is manifesting. Yes, it is unmanifest from our material eyes. Yeah. So spiritual world is also creation. That's why Krishna mentioned here that part of creation never be annihilated. So material world is just quarter of the total creation of the Lord. Yeah. And 3/4 of total creation is the spiritual world. Yeah. Therefore, Prabhupada's example of material world being the jail is applicable here, because jail is just one small part of a country. Yeah, one small part of a country. So the prisoners is much less than the good citizens, right? Yes, so that's the reality. Therefore, spiritual world is 3 times bigger than the material world. Of course, if we see like, okay, there are 7 billion people in the world, yeah, but how many of us are devotees? Very less, right? But we have another friends in the spiritual world waiting for us. Yes. So that place is never being annihilated. Yeah. Spiritual world. Text 21. That which the Vedantis describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one ever returns, that is my supreme abode. The supreme abode of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, is described in the Brahma Samhita as Chintamani Dham, a place where all desires are fulfilled. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna gives only a small hint of his personal abode, Goloka Vrindavan, which is the supermost planet in the spiritual kingdom. A vivid description is given in the Brahma Samhita. When one attains to it, he never returns to the material world. Krishna's supreme abode and Krishna himself are non-different, being on the same quality. On this earth, Vrindavan, 90 miles southeast of Delhi, is a replica of the supreme Goloka Vrindavan located in the spiritual sky. Yeah, Brahma Samhita. When I was in Brahmachari ashram, so we are trained, yeah, to memorize these prayers, Brahma Samhita. Yeah, it's a good practice that you can read it every day. It's not taking so long, maybe like 10 minutes. Yeah. Start from Ishvara Parama Krishna. Actually, the Brahma Samhita that we have now is found by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he traveled to South India. But then that's also a lot of the part of the Brahma Samhita is already missing. We found only from chapter 5. Yes, the one that we have now is found by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, started from chapter 5. Therefore, we don't have complete Brahma Samhita. Yes, that's the only thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found. And that chapter 5 is actually full of description of the spiritual world. Yeah. Or you can just study the first one. Yeah. Chinta mani prakarasat masukalpa riksha laksa vrites surabir abhipalayantam Lakshmi sahasrasata sambrama sevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Chintamani prakar in the spiritual world, yeah, Chintamani. Chintamani means gem, jewel. Kalpa vriksha. All trees are wish fulfilling tree. When I was small, like I was asking one devotee when he explained about this, I was asking like, oh, if we ask this tree to give us ice cream, will I get ice cream? And he said, yes, of course you will get ice cream. Yeah, being a child, you know. So it's like that, whatever you ask, you know. Alparisa Raksa, Surabir Abhipalayantam. So Krishna's only engagement in Goloka Vrindavan is to tend the cows, to play with the cows. Surabir Abhipalayantam. There are millions of cows. Yeah. Lakshmi, and Krishna is being served by millions of Lakshmi. Sahasra means millions. Yeah. And you can study also the last part of these prayers, starting from the word Shreya Kanta Kanta Paramapurusha Kalpataravo Druma Bhumischintamani Ganamayi Toyam Britam Athaganam Natyam Gamanam Api Vamsi Priya Saki Chidanandam Jyoti Paramapita Swaryam Apicha Sayatra Akshirabdi Surabhi Vidyascha Shumahan Nimesa Dakyo Rajati Nahiyatra Pisamaya Bhaje Sveta Dvipam Tamaham Iha Golokam Etyam Vidantaste Santa Siti Viralachara Katipai. So that's like fully describing about Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah. You heard the devotees mentioning that every word is a song, every step is a dance. There, the source is there. Yes. Druma Bhumischintamani Ganamaye Toyam Amritam. Katha Ganam. Yeah. Katha Ganam. Katha Ganam. Natyam Gamanam. Yeah. So every word is a song and every step is a dance. That's the source. Yeah. This Brahma Samhita. Very beautiful. I would like to encourage all of you, just go through. But of course, the one that we have is the English translation is given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Sometimes it's so hard to understand. Yeah, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's English is like very sophisticated. Very sophisticated. Okay. Next 22, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. Yeah. Again, Prabhupada mentioned the Brahma Samhita described the supreme abode as Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, a place where everything is full of spiritual bliss. Yeah, rasa, mellow. All the variegatedness manifest there is of the quality of spiritual bliss. To enter Krishna's supreme abode or the innumerable Vaikuntha planets is possible only by bhakti, devotional service, as clearly indicated here by the word bhaktya. No other process can help one attain that supreme abode. Okay. So this verse mentioning that yes, everything is within Krishna and Krishna is within everything. Yeah. Krishna is in Goloka Vrindavan, yet Krishna is everywhere. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabis Tabirya Eva Nijarupataya Kalabis Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Bhajan. So Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto. This verse from the Brahma Samhita mentioning that Krishna never leaves Goloka Vrindavan. He always there. Yeah. But at the same time, he also expanding himself through his energy and enters into each atom in the material world, right? Some devotees asking me, in the spiritual world, do they have Paramatma in their hearts? How you respond on this? How do you respond to this question? Anybody? Srinivasan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam.
Prabhu, I am not sure, but I will tell whatever I have understood. So, Paramatma is within a eternal companion of the conditioned soul. And once the soul is no longer a conditioned soul, a liberated soul, Paramatma is not accompanying the soul, is my understanding. I may be wrong, but please correct me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Let's hear from Ramesh Prabhu. You raised your hands earlier.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam.
Prabhu, my understanding is he will be there everywhere, including spiritual world also. The Paramatma.
So the residents of the spiritual world, they don't have Paramatma.
They have.
That's our conclusion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're right, Srinivasan Prabhu. Okay, let's hear Anuradha Mataji.
Not about that, Prabhuji, but if we don't have Paramatma in the spiritual world, isn't it better to be here only where we have Paramatma with us?
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. So in the spiritual world, there is no, I mean, like, Krishna is not accompanying the jiva as Paramatma because he's already there. We can communicate with him directly. We can serve him. We see him directly. Yeah. Here he is as a witness. Yeah. The Shirodakasa Vishnu. Yeah. Accompanying the jivas. Yeah. As Srila Prabhupada give the analogies like the two birds in a tree. One enjoying the fruit and one is just observing. So that's the reason why Krishna accompanying us. Then in the spiritual world, we always turn our face to Krishna. Yeah, we never neglect Krishna. And Krishna is there, yeah, directly manifesting in the front of our eyes. So I heard also there is one explanation that for the residents of Vrindavan, yeah, for the Vrajavasis, their Paramatma is not the four-handed form of God, but Krishna himself. So what I understood is that it's just a matter of one's consciousness, like, or sometimes one is the devata. But still, I don't find the exact reference for that, but I heard one devotee was telling me like that. Srinivasan Prabhu, you raise your hands.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I just wanted to add one thing.
Please.
In the material conditioned state, Paramatma is here to guide us because of our imperfection. So any liberated soul is perfect. So Paramatma is not required for monitoring and corrective measures. That's why Paramatma is not present with the liberated state.
Okay. But as long as one is in the material world,
directly in contact with Paramatma when one is not in the material world.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. But here is the understanding. But as long as one is in the material world, yeah, still the Paramatma will be there, although he is a liberated person. Yeah, although he is a pure devotee, still Paramatma is accompanying him. Yes. Arjuna is a liberated person, right? Pure devotee. Still Paramatma is there with him. Yeah. Only when you get spiritual body in the spiritual world, then the Paramatma is already there in the front of you. Yeah. Rati Manjari Mataji would like to add something.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to add on to what Srinivasan Prabhu was saying and what you said also. Because in the material world, even though we are pure devotees, but we have a body which is conditioned by three modes of nature. So that's why he's accompanying, the Paramatma is accompanying us, the super soul is accompanying us. But in the spiritual world, as we all were discussing, that it's all everybody is liberated and we can directly see the Lord and we are constantly in his service. So there's no need of him to be there for rectifying or for helping us to fight against the three modes of nature, because we are
Yes.
in our purest state there. That's what I wanted to add, Prabhu.
Thank you. That's valid. Thank you so much. Okay. Very nice. So, being incapable, don't try to understand God and God's kingdom by experimental knowledge. This is foolishness. It is not possible. You have to understand by hearing Bhagavad Gita, and there is no other way. Just the same example, you cannot understand who is your father by experimental knowledge. You have to simply believe your mother. Similarly, you have to believe this Bhagavad Gita. Then you can get all this information. There is no possibility of experimental knowledge. But if you become advanced in Krishna consciousness, you will realize, okay, you will realize. So all this information, if you try to find out about the spiritual world through experiment, you will definitely fail. Yeah, guaranteed, 100%. Yeah, but if you just believe in the evidence given by pure devotees, Sastra, Krishna himself, they are mentioning here in the Bhagavad Gita, then accept it as Sabda Brahman, then our life will become successful. Yeah. How many of you are still doubting that spiritual world is existing or not after being a devotee? Yes, very good. Yeah, don't doubt about it. Okay, the last part of our discussion. In verses 23 to 26, the Lord described different ways of living this material world, living this world for the karmis and jnanis. But Krishna's devotee need not worry about this path, because simply by engaging in devotional service, they attain the beneficial result of all paths, and at the end, reach the supreme destination. 27, 28, by hearing the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita in the association of devotees, one gets the benefit of performing all sacrifices, penance, etc. And one progresses from anartha nivritti to pure love of Krishna. Actually, this topic is will be explained later in the Nectar of Devotion, when we come to Nectar of Devotion. The 9 stages from Shraddha to Prema. 24. Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain the Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels to the north. Yeah. When fire, light, day, and the fortnight of the moon are mentioned, it is to be understood that over all of them, there are various presiding deities. who make arrangement for the passage of the soul. At the time of death, the mind carries one on the path to a new life. If one leaves the body at the time designated above, either accidentally or by arrangement, it is possible for him to attain the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange the time and place to leave the body. Others have no control. If by accident they leave at an auspicious moment, then they will not return to the cycle of birth and death. But otherwise, there is every possibility that they will have to return. However, for the pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning, whether he leaves the body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment by accident or arrangement. Now, this is for the yogi. Yeah, the yogis, they are waiting for this period of the Uttarayana. So 6 months will be Uttarayana, and then another 6 months will be Dakshinayana. So Uttarayana, when the sun rotates and moves toward the north, this is called Uttarayana. And Dakshinayana is the opposite. So it is considered to be auspicious when a person leaves the body at this period of Uttarayana. And now that period is running. Now is the Uttarayana. Yeah. But Prabhupada nicely explained, for devotees, it doesn't matter. Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, we are always ready, because we are supposed to think about Krishna all the time. Yeah. Hopefully. Yes. It is described in Mahabharata that how grandfather Bhishma, waiting for this auspicious time, because he got the boon. He got the boon that actually he can choose the time of his own death. Imagine if you can choose the time of your own death. Like, wow, you have control over death. So another reason why he's waiting at this time is that for all these days he was laying on the arrow, suffering. Why? Because he wants to see the Pandavas to be victorious. And he knew that Pandavas will be victorious. And it is Krishna's arrangement that he will instruct Yudhishthira Maharaj how to rule over the world. Yeah. So it is described that he was waiting for the Uttarayana. But there is another commentary of the Acharyas. What is that Uttarayana? Of course, one understanding is that when the sun moves toward the north, this is Uttarayana. But another meaning of this Uttarayana, ayana means laying down or taking shelter or sleeping. Yeah. Uttara, who is Uttara? The mother of Parikshit Maharaj. So when Aswatthama released the Brahmastra, he wanted to kill Parikshit Maharaj. So Krishna protected Parikshit Maharaj within the womb of his mother. Therefore, Krishna is the Uttarayana. So grandfather Bhishma waiting for Krishna to come to see him. Then he will see Krishna. That is the perfect time to leave the body, to see Krishna. And he attained the perfection in his life. Yes. So this is for the yogis, okay? According to the Vedic opinion, text 26, according to the Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, it does not come back. But when one passes in darkness, he returns. Those who are primitive laborers and philosophical speculators from time immemorial are constantly going and coming. Actually, they do not attain ultimate salvation, for they do not surrender to Krishna. Okay. So light and darkness. Okay. The Uttarayana is considered to be light period, and Dakshinayana considered to be dark period. Yeah. But then our understanding is that the light means when we remember Krishna. Dark means when we forget Krishna, as simple as that. Yeah. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakar. Jahan Krishna Tahanai Mayara Adhikar. Yeah. Wherever Krishna, that is light, because Krishna is compared to the sun. Yeah. If you see the sun, what you see? The light. If you turn your back against the sun, what you see? Your shadow, darkness. So that's all. Yeah. Okay. Last one. The person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the result derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and spiritual activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order, and if the master neglects to call the students for food that day, the students fast. These are some of the Vedic principles of observing brahmacharya. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals and different orders of life. One who has a little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Krishna, not from mental speculators. This material sky is meant for the conditioned souls, just like the prison house. What is this prison house? Prison house is a certain area of state, walled, all side walled and protected, so that the prisoners may not come out. That is called prison. But it is within the state, within the city, under insignificant portion. Okay. So the last verse of the chapter explaining the superiority of devotional service. Yeah. If you have $1 million, $1,000 is already included. Right. So that's the understanding. So you don't have to do a separate effort to attain perfection. Yeah. Just perform devotional service. You get all the result, including Janam, Dhanam, and Sundarim. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed that na Dhanam, na Janam, na Sundarim. Because material prosperity will come automatically if one performs devotional service. Yeah. Somehow or other, you will get followers. Oh, Prabhu, oh, Mataji, you give nice class. Oh, you have done nice kirtan. This and that. Oh, please take this donation. Yeah. So things like this. Prabhupada gave the example also, just like a king. When a king visit one place, he never come alone. He always come along with his entourage. Yes. So the entourage will follow the king. Yeah. So similarly, devotional service will be followed by all this, byproduct. We call it byproduct. And Prabhupada explained, if the practitioner get attracted and attachment to the byproduct of devotional service, then there is a great chance of him to fall down. Yeah. Therefore, we have to be very careful. Yeah. If someone give money, so better to immediately engage that money in the service of the Lord. If we are thinking that, oh, this is because of my great preaching, now I collect this money, I can use it for my personal thing, then that will put us in danger. Yeah, there are so many devotees, actually, they get deviated. Yeah, So please be careful. Yeah. Devotional service. Again, come back to this topic. Devotional service will surpass all the result of studying the Vedas, visiting holy places. Yeah. Aho bata swapachato gariyam yajiva gre vartate nama tubhyam. Te pustapaste juhu sastur arya brahmanujar nama grinantiyete. This is explained by Devahuti in the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. Aho bataswa pachato gariyan yaji vagre vartate namatubhyam. Jiva agre means the tip of one's tongue. Namatubhyam, if someone chants the holy name, just using the tip of his tongue, he will surpass, he already surpassed actually, the result of Tepus Tapaste, performing hard austerities. Tepus Tapaste Juhu Sasur Arya. He derived all the good qualities of the Aryans. Aryan means the civilized man. Brahmanuchur, and studying the Vedas and visiting holy places. Simply by chanting the holy names. And what to speak of engaging ourselves in other services also. So much benefit we get from devotional service. So the last verse is glorifying the superiority of devotional service compared to any other processes. Yeah. Okay. Thus end the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Congratulations. I really apologize that I skipped many classes here due to other things, other engagements. Okay, now I would like to talk about writing the essay. Yes.